This week on Meet the Team, we are here with Eanna, who is our new vocal teacher, who has joined us just over the Easter holidays. So welcome to Good Vibes, Eanna. Really lovely to have you with us. And so we're going to find out a little bit about you, your background, all your influences and that kind of stuff. So we just have a bit of a rambling conversation to see kind of how you got to where you are today. So why don't we start at the beginning, because you started singing really quite young, didn't you?
Yes, really young. It's sort of a memory that I have of, I was about 3 years old at my great-grandparents, sort of watching The Wizard of Oz, probably for the bajillionth time, and just singing along to that, and sort of my nan and my great-nan, you know, talking about my singing and stuff like that, and I was like, oh,
so
I like doing this.
did you like start lessons then straight away kind of thing, or how did it happen? What happened? Where did you go from there?
From there, I think I would just sing every day, sing around the house at Christmas and things like that. I would put on little performances and stuff for my family, and then at school I was always in the choir, and any sort of shows that we did, if we were singing, you know, I was always involved with that, and it just stemmed from there. And then throughout primary school and secondary school, I did performances in assembly and went on to do that, and in music GCSE the same. I did performances in assembly for those.
So it's all quite heavily kind of school performance orientated, got the school shows happening. Did you do a Christmas concert? Were you some kind of nativity person in that? Yes, we did. I've various memories of
Christmas concerts and carol performances. I think we did one at a university one time, at a few churches as well in the area. I remember at primary school it was called The Little Fir Tree, and I think I was the narrator for that as well, but then you also sing.
Very cool. And so you grew up in Hertfordshire. So what was kind of happening in Hertfordshire at that time? Was there a lot going on musically? Was there a big music scene?
I think there's a variety of things that would probably be going on. Like the university, when I said, they have quite a big music department there, so I think that's why they like to get those sort of shows and things involved. And
it also builds the links as well, doesn't it? Like it really starts to build that kind of connection between you know, experience and making music and careers and, you know, creativity in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. And then I did actually go on to study at the University of Hertfordshire, and through that, so there was 2 different campuses, and they had different open mic nights and stuff that was available there, so that was really nice.
You did quite an interesting course at uni, didn't you?
Yes.
What was the course that you did?
Songwriting and Music Production.
Okay, interesting. So you kind of went to, not necessarily away from, because I presume it's always been there, the singing side of things, but wanted to concentrate more on the creative development kind of side of things?
Yeah, I liked to write my own songs as well, so that seemed sort of well-rounded in that sense, and a lot of the assessments were performances, so I was still singing as much as I could and wanted, so that was nice.
And how do you feel your kind of writing skills, your development skills, your production skills, like how do you think they've developed in that time when you were at uni?
Oh, that was basically the main thing that I wanted to go to uni for, was just to sort of develop that and really hone in on that side of things. And it was so helpful. Like, I was so grateful for that time, because we were writing all different types of things. We were doing songs, but we were also writing for maybe like adverts and for film pieces. You know, it was very well-rounded in that sense, which was nice.
So actually kind of quite industry relatable, really, because you're writing for something. It could be like you say, like you get commissioned to write for an advert, or you need to write a score for a film or a game or something. It's quite industry, real life almost. Oh, that's very cool. And so you're not just a singer either, though, are you? Because you're from a very creative family, what I understand.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your dancing and stuff.
So I've been dancing since I was 3. Both of my parents are professional dancers, and that's how they met. Like I always enjoyed dancing and really enjoyed doing ballet, and from there I went to do that throughout school. Did sort of dancing clubs as well, and then even at university I did 4 years there so that I could do a study abroad year.
Okay, this is really cool as well. So where did you go for your year out, or not year out, part of your study year, where did you go for that?
To San Diego.
Okay, in the States?
In California, yeah.
And so you spent the whole year over there
Yeah.
as part of, how does that work? Is it you almost become a student at that university for that year?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so what did you do during that year? Because that's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, so I was dancing for that year. As it was an extra year on top, you could sort of choose some other areas to study as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did dance there, as well as sort of collaboration with the music department, because we had some assignments that would overlap and you got to work with them, so that was really nice.
So you did, as part of that, you were writing for dance as well?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Which was actually an assignment in my final year as well, so that was cool to tie in as well, so that was really good.
It's really interesting how it all kind of goes full circle, doesn't it? You've had this kind of like, you've got the influences from your parents and the dance side of things, you got your music, and you go off and start studying songwriting and production, end up doing dance and merging the two together, which is just amazing.
Yeah,
really cool.
I think I was really lucky to get to do both in that way. So
nice. And so, what were some kind of memorable times from when you were learning? Like, have you got in your head like a really memorable kind of occasion when a teacher really inspired you or something?
Yeah. As a teacher in my first and second year, I'm trying to think if I still had him in my third year, but
this was at university.
Yeah, this was at university, and a lot of his assignments were the sort of music production based ones, and just the way he set it out and laid out the assignments and sort of the steps through the course. You could tell that he really wanted you to succeed and gave you everything that he kind of could for you to succeed, and so that was really nice to sort of work with you, and he really catered to everyone's sort of individual interests and what sort of things they did want to write, and was like, this is all you need to do that, and sort of let you go with it.
It's really interesting, is it, like picking up on that almost like relevance, and it's a very similar kind of approach that we have here about how can we tailor what we know students need to be able to play an instrument to actually the things that they want to be able to do, and like encourage that kind of motivation, inspiration almost. When it works, it's incredibly powerful. It's very cool. Nice, okay. And so obviously just thinking about the singing teaching side of things a little bit, because it's slightly different, I think at least, and correct me if I'm wrong here, to learning to play guitar or learn to play the drums, because the big obvious difference is that you are the instrument.
Yes.
And so that must pose some quite interesting challenges.
Yeah, it can be challenging, definitely from a confidence sense. I think even in my own experience in singing, there are some things that I feel like I wouldn't have been able to do, and then you do find a way there with your voice, and so it is sort of working with that and sort of going for it anyway in some cases, and
I can see how, like, because you're kind of putting yourself out there, aren't you, on display, and it's like you haven't got anything to hide behind. It's you, and I imagine that can be quite a vulnerable position to feel in sometimes. And so, how have you dealt with that in the past? How have you kind of overcome and built that confidence, if you like?
I think the more you do something, the more comfortable you become in those sorts of situations. And if sort of performance opportunities came up, even if I was sort of nervous about it, I went for it anyway. And just preparing yourself in every way that you can before a performance or something that you're working towards in performance wise is a great way to tackle that, because you know that you know what you need to do, and then nerves are natural, and when you're there you just
absolutely
I feel like the performance takes over and you get in the zone with it.
Absolutely. And nerves sometimes are a really important thing, because they show you care actually. If you're not nervous about it, then actually we need to make sure that kind of passion and energy is there as well. It's also maybe as well about, it's not overstretching yourself, isn't it? Sometimes it's just about pushing that confidence barrier just a little bit more each time, so you get comfortable with it. So you're working with it, or stretching that comfort zone, if you like. It's it'd be daunting, and I'm, as you know from our demo lessons, I'm the world's worst singer. and so, you know, me getting up on stage in Wembley would be terrifying. But actually just like slowly building up to it and just pushing your comfort zone a little bit each time is probably quite a good way of going about doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent.
Like doing what you're comfortable with first, and then progressing as you go.
Exactly. You build your confidence then, yeah. Exactly. And so we got this started to run a bit of a tradition about a song that you grew up with, or an album that you grew up with, that was really influential for you, and you remembered. I've got a feeling it might be The Wizard of Oz, but maybe I've got that wrong. If there was an album that was really important to you, or a song that was really important to you through your formative kind of years, what would that one be?
There's a lot to choose from, and I think I was heavily influenced by what my parents were listening to.
Okay.
And so that makes me think back to my childhood. And one was Alicia Keys, her first album, Songs in A minor, I think it's called. And my mum would listen to that a lot, and I very much liked it, even when I was really little, and I was just sort of groove along to it with her, and obviously would then just pick it up and be singing it word for word as well. So that definitely comes to mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you in an environment, was there always music on? Was it almost just like it's just a part of life, it's there, you're always singing, there's always music on, there's always a bit of movement and dance going on?
Yeah, pretty much. And I would go along to dance shows that my mum was in, and same with my dad, so whatever they were sort of working on would be played a lot, so I'd usually be singing that and following along with that. So
you almost had these subliminal kind of influences going on. It's just like it's almost just part of you.
Yeah.
Very incredible. And so if you were to pass on a song or an album onto someone who go, actually, like, oh, you need to listen to this.
Yeah.
What would that one be for you?
A little bit different to Alicia Keys, but same sort of realm, I think. Stevie Wonder. And the Visions album, and the song Visions in particular. Okay. That song, I feel like, I don't know, when I discovered Stevie Wonder, that was, that one definitely stuck with me, and I used some of that song within like an assignment when I was at university and things like that, and it was really cool to...
So another big kind of influence on you from a creative point of view as well.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really lovely. Eanna, it's been really lovely catching up with you. And I'm so pleased that you're here working as part of Good Vibes and here as a vocal teacher. Really looking forward to the next few years working with you. I can't wait to get cracking, so thank you very much.
Thank you, and me. I can't wait to get started and keep going.